Who was really the leader of Cuba for 20 years? Fidel Castro or his secret wife Celia Sánchez, whom no one knew about? The diaries found after Celia's death revealed the shocking truth. Celia made all the major decisions. Fidel was just the visible face. But why was it kept so secret? And why could Fidel never be the same after Celia died? What do you think? Who do you believe was the true leader of Cuba? Fidel Castro or Celia Sánchez? Leave us your comment below. Subscribe to the channel to discover unknown secrets about Fidel Castro, and turn on notifications to learn something new every day. Dr. Eugenio Selman walked quickly down the hospital hallway, out of breath, drenched in sweat. Celia Sánchez's final condition was bad, and he needed to call Fidel Castro immediately. But the doctor didn't know that tonight not only would a patient die, but an entire era. In Celia's room, Fidel was sitting alone. He held the hand of his companion of 20 years, waiting in silence. Celia's breathing had become difficult. "Fidel," whispered Celia, "there are things I must tell you." "Not now. You're going to recover." "No, I'm dying, and I must tell the truths." Celia looked directly into Fidel's eyes. "For 20 years, you were not the leader, Fidel." Fidel was surprised. "What do you mean? I made all the decisions. You were just the person who explained them to the people." But the most shocking part was, as Celia struggled to breathe, she continued, "The Cuban Revolution was my plan. The Sierra Maestra strategy, the entry into Havana, overthrowing Batista. All of it was mine." "Celia, you're sick." "No. Listen to me." Celia's voice strengthened. "When I first saw you in 1957, you were just a charismatic young man. But I had a plan. A plan to change Cuba." Fidel's world was shaking. "This is impossible. Remember the missile crisis. When you were going to meet with Kennedy, you entered into panic. Who told you what to say?" Fidel remembered. It was true. Celia had given him all the strategy. Bay of Pigs, Che's departure, economic reforms. In all of them I guided you. But why? Why did you hide yourself? Celia smiled, but her smile was full of pain. Because in the 1960s, the world would not have accepted a female leader. Just at this point everything changed. Celia pulled a small key from the drawer next to her bed. "Fidel, in my office there is a secret safe. Open it with this key." "What's inside?" "My diaries of 20 years. The real story of every decision. The details of every plan." Fidel took the key. "Why did you hide them?" "Because you couldn't have borne the truth." Celia's voice weakened. "You loved too much being the leader loved by the people. If you had known you were a puppet, you would have collapsed." "I'm not a puppet." "Oh really?" asked Celia. "Then who made the agreement with the Soviets?" Fidel stopped. "Was it you?" "Me. In 1962, I went to Moscow. You didn't even know. Officially, we announced you were sick. This is impossible. I met with Khrushchev for 3 days. The missile agreement, economic support, military aid. I negotiated everything." Fidel was in shock. "And what was I doing?" "You were speaking to the people. With your charisma, you influenced people. That was very important. But political decision-making was always in my hands." "Wait a moment, don't miss this detail." Celia was breathless. "Fidel, in the safe there are other things too." "Like what?" Correspondence I maintained with the CIA. Fidel froze. You were writing to the CIA? Yes. Since 1965. This is treason. No. Celia gathered strength. This is diplomacy. I gave them false information. They also gave me false information. What do you mean? While the CIA tried to kill you, I leaked incorrect information to them. The 638 assassination attempts. I prevented them all. Fidel's heart raced. How? I managed the CIA's contact in Havana. He was a double agent. He reported all their plans to me. And the CIA didn't know? They knew. But they also thought they were using me as a double agent. Celia laughed bitterly. In reality, I was a triple agent. Triple? I pretended to work for the CIA, I protected you, and at the same time I gave information to the Soviets. But above all I protected Cuba. You still haven't seen the biggest surprise. Fidel. My real name is not Celia Sánchez. Fidel's breathing stopped. What do you mean? My real name is Elena Kozlova. I am a Soviet agent. This is impossible. In 1955 Moscow sent me to Cuba. My mission: start a socialist revolution in Cuba. Fidel stood up. You used me. At first, yes. But later I fell in love with you. Celia's eyes filled with tears. It became real love, Fidel. It was not part of the plan. Was everything we lived through for 20 years a lie? No. Our love was real. Our revolution was real. Only the beginning was a lie. Fidel collapsed. Does Moscow know? In 1960, I cut contact with them, because you didn't want to make Cuba a Soviet colony. And I supported you. And now what will happen? Now you have to be the real leader, Fidel. Without me. You won't believe this, but Celia squeezed Fidel's hand with her last strength. In the safe, there are operation files. Cuba's plans for every country. CIA, KGB, MI6. All of them. How did you get all of this? For 20 years I gained the trust of everyone. As they gave me information, I stored it. Why? For Cuba's future. You will use this information to protect Cuba. Fidel's eyes filled with tears. Celia, did you really love me? I loved you, Fidel. So much that I betrayed my own country. And me. What did I do for 20 years? Celia smiled. You gave hope to the people. With your charisma, you influenced people. That was very important. But I wasn't the real leader. Now you will be. Because now you're alone. At that moment, the strength in Celia's hand diminished. What you're seeing now is nothing. Fidel. One more thing. What? Raul. Raul knows everything. What do you mean? He too is a Soviet agent. Since 1961. Fidel was in shock. My brother. Yes. Moscow sent him as backup. In case I died. So when you die, Raul will take control. Cuba will return under Soviet influence. What should I do? In the safe is Raul's file. Evidence. You can expose him. Or you work with him. But the real leader will be you. Celia's breathing became very difficult. Fidel, promise me. What? That you won't surrender Cuba. to any superpower. I promise you. Thank you." Celia closed her eyes. At 23:59 Celia Sánchez died. But her secrets remained with Fidel. When they thought everything had ended, the next day Fidel opened the secret safe in Celia's office. Inside were hundreds of files. CIA operations files, 1961 to 1980. KGB correspondence, 1955 to 1960. Soviet connection Raúl Castro, 1961 to 1980. Future plans Cuba, 1980 to 2000. Personal diary, 1957 to 1980. Fidel opened the diary first. March 15, 1957. I saw Fidel today. Perfect candidate. Charismatic, brave, but naive. I can use him. June 20, 1958. I'm falling in love with Fidel. This can damage the mission, but I can't control it. January 1, 1959. We entered Havana. Mission complete. But now what will I do? I love Fidel. October 15, 1962. Missile crisis. Fidel entered into panic. I established secret communication with Kennedy. Fidel doesn't know. March 3, 1965. Che leaves. Fidel devastated. I made the decision. Che to Africa. November 12, 1975. Fidel ages. More dependent on me. Sometimes I feel guilty. Am I using him or loving him? January 10, 1980. I'm dying. Should I tell Fidel the truth? For 23 years I used him. But in the end I loved him. Maybe that's enough. Fidel read all the files. 3 days later he made his decision. He called Raúl. "Brother, Celia died. I know. I'm very sorry. Are you a Soviet agent?" Raúl stopped. "How do you know?" "Celia told me." "She told you too? Did you know?" Raúl sat down. "Since 1961 I've known. Moscow contacted me. And now what will we do?" "I don't know. You decide." Fidel put Raúl's file on the table. "There are two options. Either I expose you, or we work together. What do you want?" "I want Cuba to remain independent. Without Soviet control, without American control. I want the same thing too. Then we will work together. But the real leader will be me." "Agreed." 10 years later the Soviet Union collapsed. Cuba was left alone. Fidel overcame every crisis thanks to Celia's files. Because he knew the plans of every country. He asked Raúl, "Do you miss Celia?" "Yes. And you?" "Every day. But now I feel I am a real leader." "Good. Because the next crisis is coming." "What?" "The American embargo intensifies. The economy collapses." Fidel smiled. "Celia has economic files. We will survive." And they really did survive. When Fidel Castro died in 2016, all of Celia's files were destroyed. No one knew the truth. Official history. Fidel Castro, great leader. Real history. Celia Sánchez, the master of puppets. But perhaps the truth was this. They used each other mutually. They loved each other mutually. And love, sometimes, is more powerful than politics. For 20 years in Cuba there were two leaders. One on stage, another behind the stage. Fidel spoke. Celia decided. Fidel loved. Celia protected. And together they achieved the impossible. Keeping a small island standing against the superpowers. Sometimes the strongest leadership is being invisible. If this story impacted you as much as it did us, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss more hidden secrets of history. What will be the next mystery we discover together?